Hello everyone, we are going to discuss about exception handling concept in a Python programming. So what is exception? So anyone please tell me what is exception? Exception means what? Exception are error detected at the time of the program execution. Okay, when we are executing program, that time it is showing error when we executing program. So it is called as exception. So which exception is occur, we have to handle that exception. So how to handle exception in a Python? For example, one example, real life example, road is clear. Okay, we have to execute program without any exception. So exception means error occur during the program execution. If any error occurs, accident, like accident example of exception. Exceptions are detected at the time of program executing. So we have to handle that exception. When an error occurs or exception, we call it. Okay, Python will normally stop and generate an error message, and this exception can be handled using try statement. In other programming there is a try, exception block, try, catch, but here there are three blocks: try block, except block and final block. What is try block? What we have to write inside the try block? We have to test our code, block of code for errors, and that is we have to write in try block. And the except block lets you handle the errors, and finally block lets you execute the code regardless of the result of try and except blocks. So in Python there are three blocks in exception handling: try block, except block and finally block. See here there are different types of errors. When we write a wrong syntax, we have to add variables starting with the numbers. We have to add special characters, so it will show error message. I have written there SAAS SAS, so it will show name error. Name SAS is not defined. I added then integer plus string values, so it is showing syntax error, invalid syntax. And in third example I added integer value. In single quote I added integer value, so it is showing type error, unsupported operand types. So this is different types of errors. For example, we added 4 elements in a list data type, and we added indexing number 5, so it will show error message, and it will show index error. See here in previous example, see here different types of error: name error, syntax error, type error, and this is the index error. So it is showing list index out of range. See the syntax of exception handling: try block, except block. So we have to first starting with the try block, operational block, then we have to add multiple exception blocks: except and name of exception block, except, name of exception, 1 2 3. You have to add it as per your requirements. So if exception 1, we have to add it condition, this will execute this block only. If there is exception 2, then execute this block. And we also use else part also. After try except block, we have also added else part. If there is no exception, then execute this block, means else part will execute. So let's say we'll solve one example using try except block and without try except block. We'll solve the example of factorial number. Let's see the example. We'll execute on Google Colab. See here. Factorial number without using try except block. So we have to import, because we have to import the library. To import library we have to use import keyword. Math library we have to import, then we will add values, accept the values from user. To accept value from user, which function we have to use? We have to use input function. If there is integer value, we have to add an integer, int bracket, we have to pass input function. So here input, enter the number. We have to declare one variable, output equal to math.factor. By mistakenly we have to add a bracket here. See here, and we have to print our output function, output variable, output. Now check. See here, what is the difference between using try except block and without try except block? See here, it is showing error message, value error, factorial not defined for negative values. See here, we have to solve factorial number. Factorial number with try except block. We have to write import math. We have to accept the value from user, same, int input, enter the number. See here, after that we have to add a try block, and see here, as per our rules, we have to every time we have to add a colon sign, and where our cursor is showing, there we have to add it our output equal to math.factorial number, print output. So we have to add the condition to check. We have to add a condition in try block, then we have to add an except block, every time when we declare function, class, loops, decision making statement, every time we have to use colon sign in Python. Remember this. See here, in try block we have added to check our program math function, we have to pass our values, and except block we have to show our error message. See here, which you want to display, print cannot. In previous example, without using except block, when we added number -1, it is showing error message. Now we have to pass our exception message, means if we didn't using this except block, it is showing error message, but now we have to add it cannot compute negative value, negative value. See here, this is our message, means it will not show error message, it will show our exception message which we added in message in except block. See here, first check without using factorial number. We'll add -1. It will show error message, and see, read the error, value error, factorial function not defined for negative values. Now see here, in this example where we have to use try except block, if we pass -1, what it will show? See here, in above example it is showing error message, and here it is showing our except block message, cannot compute negative value. Sorry, by mistake there is a spelling. See here, if we pass a negative value, it will show our except block message. Getting everyone, how to create exception, and in a Python, how to handle exception in Python. There are 3 blocks: try block, except block, and finally block. See here, in finally block, we have to add our message. In slide already discussed about final block executed if try and except block is not executed, or if any errors or any message, but every time finally block will execute. See here, I am in finally block. Getting every time, this is finally blocks. If try except block is showing or not showing, but it is every time it will display I am in finally block. Getting everyone, how to handle exception in a Python program. This is without using try except block, and this is using try except block. Here is it is showing mass error, value error message. Okay, see here, and but here same value or passes, but it is not showing any error message, it is showing except block message. So when we need to handle exception, if for example when we develop or implement a project, in project there are thousands of lakhs lines of code, so how to identify errors, how to identify exception easily. So for that we have to write code inside that blocks, so we can easily get where is error actually having. Getting everyone understood? Getting everyone?